This is the apoditarium of the Baths of Caracalla. Notice the beautifully tiled floors. And also look at the room size. This room easily held hundreds of people. Although they're not there anymore, the walls have held cubby holes so that people may place their clothing inside. Traditionally, one slave would watch over this room to make sure nothing was stolen. Well, we're not allowed to go there, but behind that wall there is the tepidarium. It's kind of hard to see because on the farthest wall is the caldarium, and so it's kind of in between this space over here and the caldarium space over there. And so the tepidarium is the warm room. It's kind of the in-between between the cold frigidarium here and the heat of the caldarium. It wasn't directly near the fire that warmed up the caldarium, so it wasn't very hot like the caldarium, but it still kept a little bit of warmth. People would go there and they'd sit down on benches and they'd sweat so that they would be prepared for the heat of the caldarium. It was a kind of go-between between the cold frigidarium and the hot caldarium. That is what remains of the caldarium of the Baths of Caracalla. That would have been the hot room, the warmest place. Inside would have been a large, round, and sauna-like bath in which people would be able to bathe in and open up the pores of their skin. There is a small opening down there which would probably lead into the hypocaust or furnace. That is what remains of the caldarium of the Baths of Caracalla. It's likely that those stones would have supported the raised floor that people would have walked on. This place had a large pool that was warmed by a furnace. Over there is a small tunnel that could have possibly provided the warm air currents that kept the baths and the floor warm. People here would have relaxed inside the hot tub to let their pores open up. This is the cold room. Here you'll take a plunge after a nice day in the caldarium. A slave here might drizzle your skin in olive oil and scrape it off with a strigil. Or he might give you a massage. This was the largest of the room and had the largest pool. People would come here and relax. This is the palestra, or exercise yard. There are two of them in the Baths of Caracalla. This whole ground used to be sand. Here, people would box or wrestle. Some people might throw a discus, and others would play a ball game. People would come here to get some moderate exercise before a bath. In two separate wings were two gyms. These gyms were located apart from the main buildings. Romans would come here to exercise before going to the baths. These gyms had equipment similar to modern ones, like weights. On either side of the gyms were libraries, one for Greek literature and one for Latin literature. These libraries would be where people would come to expand their knowledge. There wasn't any fiction in their day. They thought their myths were real history. Once they were done with their baths, people would go to the natatio, or the Olympic-sized swimming pool. People would come here to relax and refresh themselves after their baths. They could also take a small swim here for exercise. The natatio had no roof, so that people could enjoy the nice weather they got in Italy. This is the entrance to part of the large tunnel system that ran under the Baths of Caracalla. People would come here to stoke the fires that kept the caldarium and the tepidarium hot. The skylights, where one of them is here, would provide ventilation and light for the people working down here. People would also come here to ferry wood for the fires. These tunnels could store about 1 ton worth of wood. However, though that may seem like a lot, the fires would burn through a lot more than that. The fires could burn through 10 tons of wood each and every day. These provided heat for the 6,000 to 8,000 bathers that came to the baths every single day. In a sense, these tunnels were like the veins that provided vital ingredients to the heart of the baths. And there is a secret down here. Down here, people have found a shrine to the god Mithras. Nobody knows, and then on the top of that, there was a small trapdoor. No one really knows what the trapdoor is there for. Is it simply an innocent object, just there for an extra exit? Or is it or does it have a little more gruesome secret? The area is not accessible in blue. The caldarium of the tepidarium. Wait, what? Well, I guess we can't go there. We're gonna have to find a different way to get that. Even 1,000 years later, the baths of Caracalla still impress. You can see glimpses into its brilliance simply by looking around you. And everybody has a single question. What did it look like 1,000 years earlier? What did it look like at its prime? Unfortunately, the baths of Caracalla were one of the most deadly killing machines ever invented. The first time you hear this, it may sound absurd. After all, the baths were designed to help people's health. However, what the baths signified is the important section. The baths signified Rome turning away from its more military history and turning to a life of luxury. In their history, they have maintained a strong military throughout the empire. However, once they started becoming more luxurious, they just stopped spending more money on the military, and they started spending more money to show that they're rich and to live comfortable lifestyles. Rome began to waste food and money just to impress friends. And so their military and their people were weakened. Of course, there was another thing that the baths did, which became a locust for diseases to spread. Since 6,000 to 8,000 bathers came every day, and there was no quarantine in their times, waterborne diseases and other diseases could spread much quicker there than in other sections of Rome.